Can't wait till you write a song about me.
Oh, no, just leave it, man. Leave it.
If people are like, what does Marina City sound like? I'd be like, I would show them this one.
I really think there's like this bittersweet vibe going on to the song.
End of 2018 when we first started writing it.
I just want to make all these songs metal songs live. We'll just be a metal band.
I'm going to talk about our new song, Trust Fund Bay Bay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Crush Podcast. I guess I'm going to be your host for today, and we are going to talk about our new song, Trust Fund Bay Bay. So, this episode, we're going to go in deep dive on the demos, on the writing process, how the lyrics changed, how the melodies changed, how the instrumentation changed, and how we got it to what you're listening to now, this version. So, Deanna, tell us where you're at and your background of your Zoom.
I've been staring at this picture for months now. But this picture was, I believe, in a hotel lobby.
It's actually the hotel lobby of where Lindsay and I are getting married in August.
I see.
I took that photo while we were checking out the place.
So this is the door, and I guess
Elevator door.
There are some. It looks like there's like a little. I'll do like a little tube system that goes up. Maybe a pneumatic tube system. And I don't know. So this image might have some significance, might not have significance. But Ryan took this picture and he sent it over to me, and we were kind of just talking about different visual ideas for Trust Fund Baby, and this image just kept popping up.
Yeah, this was an image that we wanted to do for album artwork or single artwork for it from the very beginning because of the glitz and glamour of this hotel. It's a 1920s hotel called Hotel Baker, and it's allegedly haunted. It's actually considered one of the most haunted places in Illinois, and we will be staying in. Well, some of us will be. Some of you guys will be in the other hotel. We'll be staying in there, which also made it really exciting to get married in this place. Have a couple extra guests slammed in there while we are dancing.
Isn't that like the elevator that like disappeared and like a bunch of people died in that elevator, and then it drops.
The hotel Tower of Terror from MGM.
Like
that's actually what honestly, the hotel looks that way. And that's what I joke about that all the time. But the story of the death here was that I don't know if they call him a housemaid or whatever, was working, and she fell in love with someone else that worked there, but he had a wife, so she decided to drown herself in the river right next door, like literally next to it. And so, again, allegedly, she goes and roams the hallways, and she's looking for her love, and sometimes you can hear her reaching out for people or groaning or whatever the case is.
Jiggling handles.
Jiggling something.
Doors. Housekeeping.
Housekeeping.
Housekeeping. We're here.
Open the door. Nobody. It's a ding dong ditch.
Yeah.
A knock knock ditch.
You
Speaking of knock knock ditch, Aaron, rest in peace. We used to. Is that? Do you guys remember when we were on tour? And we were touring with Royal Street, and they had a motel room, and we didn't. We slept in the van outside, and we didn't know what room they were staying in. So Aaron told, I think it was Matt and I, to go up. And he was like, "Hey, let's go, let's go hang out with them up there and get some breakfast with them." We're like, "Okay."
Room 242.
Room 242. So Aaron and us two just walked up. Dun, 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 dun,
we walked up fast. We were excited. We were hungry.
Yeah, we were excited to see because we were hungry. We were ready for breakfast. We knock on the door, and Aaron just sprints, and the dude is 6'2" or 6'3", whatever, and he's just running. And Matt and I was like, "What?" He goes, "That's not their room." And we're like, "Oh shit!" And we just started. He got us so good, man.
It was just knocked on some random dude's room,
random family at 8 in the morning.
I wasn't even mad. I was so impressed.
That is the start of every serial killer movie about like a road trip. That's like Joyride, you know?
Dude, that guy, he can't stay in a motel ever again because he's like, dude, someone knocked on it and I opened the door and nobody was there. So he tells that story at every party. He
said, allegedly, that motel was haunted.
Yeah, there you go. And full circle. Boom. There it is.
speaking of being haunted, we can kind of take this and put it into the lyrical content of Trust Fund Baby.
Oh,
What do you think this song's about to you, Ryan? Because for me, when I heard this song, I was like, man, this person's being haunted by the memory of someone who just wasn't good for them.
Interesting. No, I would love to hear what your guys' thoughts, what you guys think the song's about.
Oh boy. Well, Ryan has a very good knack of writing about my life events before they happen. So if you could just like stop writing fucking sad shit and like start saying, yo, like we won a Grammy and I can, you know, like I'm making money or something, like that'd be sick. You know? But like for me, this song is about falling in love with the idea of someone in a very big nutshell. And that's what hits right here in my heart.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that that's part of it for sure. What about you two? Do you guys have an interesting theory?
I actually think like Matt nailed it with the idea of somebody. I think that was like the key of it. Like you see someone who's like super attractive or whatever, and then turns out that they're just like a toxic human being, and everything is a lie. That's kind of
well. I think that I love the interpretations, and I think both can be true. Toda, did you have something?
Yeah, I have two interpretations.
Ooh,
I have
two.
Yeah, I have the lyrical aspect, and I also have the instrumental, atmospherical aspect. I mean, yeah, I agree with about the lyrics for sure. You know, it's about somebody who meant a lot to you, but you know, at the end, it didn't really work out, and you're just still trying to hold on to that idea of them, the idea of potential future. But when in reality, it's just, you know, it just doesn't work out. Compatibility is not there. And instrumentally wise, I really think there's like this bittersweet vibe going on to the song that I can truly appreciate, because I do believe that all good things in life, they all come to an end. And in fact, they are bittersweet. But, you know, it's up to you to decide that. You can either be super sad about, you know, whatever happened, or you can just be like, yeah, those were good memories and it just didn't really work out, and that's life and it's time to move on. So
Do you feel a lot of that comes from the synth line?
Yeah, absolutely. And the beat that just keeps going, you know, it's a pretty driving beat throughout the whole entire song. So that to me is, I would say, like the equivalent of like, you got to keep going. Like whatever happens, like you just got to keep going and, you know, not fall back into this hole. So yeah, that's just kind of my interpretation.
It's interesting because I feel like the song, that synth line was so difficult for us to figure out what we wanted to do with it. Because I was expecting something completely different, but I think in the end, it's really nice because, like you did say, it has like a little bit of a somber melody line to it, even if the song feels driving and exciting.
Yeah.
I will say that, so going all the way back to 2018 when we started writing this song, like November of 2018, I felt like I wanted to write a new version of Four Letter Lie, one of the songs that we have off the EP Wanderlust.
She told me take my advice and run as fast as you can, 'cause I'm the monster that they claim I am. Nobody is now, you and me, but that's just wishful thinking. I'm going to destroy all of your dreams, 'cause baby that's just me.
Four Letter Lie was about an ex-girlfriend that one of the old members used to have that was really just like a monster, was a absolutely dog shit person that was basically bringing them down and was eating them alive. I felt like mentally wise. And
I almost went into character for a second. That got dangerous. I almost went into character.
She was absolutely terrible, and the song was about that, basically what that person was. However, so I was like, okay, so I want to write maybe a new version. Maybe what would that sound like in 2018? And I was listening to the song when we decided to bring back the song as a recording wise in 2020. because our new manager found it, Brandon. He found it in the Dropbox and was like, dude, this song's really cool. You guys should bring it back.
Didn't trust my instincts. I thought she was more than this. She was a trust fund baby, but I fell for her lips. She says she's hungry, needs money. What's that for a girl to do? And I'm sorry. Good morning. I can't wake up next to you. Baby, you're fine. I've just been losing my mind. Maybe you're right. I could use some other time. Don't take this the wrong way, babe. I can't call you mine. Don't take this the wrong way, babe. I can't call you mine. I don't wanna lie. I don't get lost in your eyes. I don't wanna fight. I just need some other time. Don't take this the wrong way, babe. I can't call you mine. Don't take this the wrong way, babe. I can't call you mine.
Or you guys should actually record this. And I was listening to it and I was thinking, man, I was like, it feels really weird at this point of time in our history. And just like as an adult, I know that 2 years seems so different, but 2 years is different. I mean, I'm married and I got, like I got so much from there.
No, I know what you mean, but
Lay
you're
it
talking
on.
about just dogging like really insignificant relationships.
Right. It felt weird. Like, would you
But
like-
it also like I should also say it's not specifically a woman either because
Yeah.
Right,
Shout out
right.
to my
Right.
subreddit r/scat.
I was just making a mean song about a girl who didn't really exist. That's all I was doing. And then I realized in the year 2020, I was like, man, like I feel like it could be so much deeper than that. And why would I feel that way? And so, this song is the narrator. I feel is actually kind of the narrator doesn't really understand. I feel like the narrator is what dating is like nowadays, where there's a lot of miscommunication, and sometimes the miscommunication is so obvious on how you even can think that. In the entirety of the song, there are all these obvious signs that this girl is just not into this guy. She's just hooking up with this guy for this moment or whatever the case is just like, looking for fun. But he keeps thinking that it's something bigger than it is. He's like, I would die for her. I would get this Gucci purse for her. I would spend all this money for her. I would give her the world. I would do all this stuff. And it's just like, but why? She literally told you in the chorus, I mean, we're not going to do this. We're not going to do this again. Like, I mean, like, I don't love you. Like, I don't take this the wrong way. I'm just not into you. But he's just like, oh, she's so into me. And I feel like so many people have that issue. And then he automatically just assumes she's a trust fund baby. But in the entire song, there's nothing to show that she's a trust fund baby. He just is pissed off that maybe that's a reason why she's not into him as much than he's into her. That he's just like, well, she's just a trust fund baby, and she fell for this stuff and things like that. And it's like, did she, or was she just looking to have a good time that day, and it's just supposed to be just a one-time thing for her? And
Yeah, I enjoy the duality of the sentiment of lyrics like that, and like the way that you put it, because it's easy to see, and it'd be really easy to be like, oh yeah, this is just about like a toxic partner or toxic girl. But when you look into it a little bit deeper, you can see that, like you said, everything's miscommunicated. You have to really look into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's a little, and
Well, I like that you said the toxic thing, because it is still toxic. The relationship is kind of toxic because the relationship, this guy thinks that he's going to get more or it's going to be something bigger. And then this girl's like, I'm only here for a little bit. And miscommunication could be super toxic.
Yeah.
There's never really, I don't necessarily think there's always, I don't know. I did just say that other girl that the guy was dating, or past member was dating, was a monster. But maybe that was a lot of miscommunication from myself, and I saw it on one side of the story. There's always two sides of the story, and I think that when we were going to make a music video for it, and these stories we were thinking about it, we wanted to make sure that the girl is not necessarily evil, and neither is really the guy. It's just they're not. Neither of them are talking, and they both want different things.
Yeah, it's just not the right people for each other. And I think that's an interesting perspective, because I think as you get older and have more and more serious relationships, you start to look back on past ones that like crumbled, and it's less about like, oh, you know, so and so was really screwed me over, and then it's like, oh, well, actually, like we just weren't right for each other, you know?
Right.
It's like you're just trying to force this thing that just is never really going to work, and a relationship ending is ultimately for the best.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I like to bring around what Toter was mentioning earlier. I like how there's contrast with the heaviness of the lyrics with the almost sarcastic instrumental. You know, like kind of how we were talking before. Like Toter said, there's like a driving beat. It's not like a low energy vibe type song anyways, and the way we're talking about it, I mean, it could very easily be that way. It could be a sad song about being in a toxic thing, but at the same time, when you guys, or when everyone listens to this song, you should kind of hear that playfulness of like, okay, this is a little meta almost, you know what I mean? Like it's a little self-aware.
Yeah, and it's interesting because like the music definitely plays into that mood too, because like it's certainly up tempo, but it's not like funky. It's really kind of like clunky and awkward, you know. Like the groove is just dun 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 dun, like it just kind of drives, but it's not. There's no like nuance. It doesn't like gel and flow. It's just like it's a bumpy ride,
just like the narrator. is awkward and you know you know in the bridge is a big part, and it's a very tongue-in-cheek bridge, and I wanted people, and we even said what in the end of it, because it's so it's very cheesy, but I wanted it to be that way because I wanted to show like how absolutely ridiculous this is, that this situation that they are in is, that I would give her the universe. I would get her a Gucci purse, and then like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you saying about that? What does that even mean? And it's all materialistic things. There is no actual like foundation of this relationship. It's just on looks, on miscommunication, and about materialistic things.
And it's not I would die for you, you know?
No. My biggest thing that I would do for you is I will get you a Gucci purse. I will do that for you. like that's how much I love you, you know?
But that's what this person thinks is an expression of love as well, right? You know?
Right. Exactly. That's exactly what they think.
That's peak love is here's your purse.
You know, this is something that I like, just a side thing, like, as we keep saying the narrator, I'm not saying this is a story about myself. I'm not saying this is even a story about any of us. Sometimes I just like writing about stories that I feel that I've just observed or I've seen and like want to portray that. I don't think an artist, now there are a time and a place for real personal songs, and there are real personal songs in Marina City. And that's also another thing that I'm doing with the solo stuff, is like really, really gut-wrenching stuff like that. But I think that Marina City should be something that there are stories that just need to be told, and I think this is just one of them.
Can't wait till you write a song about me.
Just leave it, man. Leave it. If you're not watching, Ryan just like stared off into the distance, scratched his chin as if to say,
interesting.
Should I tell Toter about?
I'm not watching Almond's Red Strawberry right now, so.
All right.
Oh yeah, Strawberry's about Toter.
Yeah.
Well, maybe now.
Maybe not.
Well, that's a good thing to be some. It's a good thing that Strawberry is about you right now. But
Yeah. But you said this song started all the way in 2018.
yeah,
This
November.
this song is old.
So this song is about.
This is
No,
really
it's
no. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know.
It's literally not about anyone that specific.
Yeah, I know.
I think it was just a demo that we were writing. I was actually the melody line was completely 100% different.
Yeah, I didn't trust my instincts. I thought you were better than this. She was a trust fund baby. I fell in love with a kiss. She says she's hungry, needs money. What's that for a girl to do? And I'm sorry. Good morning. I can't wake up next to you.
I was more trying to be. This is a thing that singing and Matt will understand this too. It's like maybe just musicians in general, that when you're really good at something, you often want to really, really show off all the time, and singers do this a lot. Where it's like we got to belt everything. We have to like really big vocals, and that's sometimes where I get little like I can only listen to Mariah Carey so much, or even sometimes like Demi Lovato so much, because there's a lot of times where there's just like this absolutely over the top vocals all the time, where it's like, can you just sing this straight for a minute? Well, I get into that as well. That
Like
happens
when you hear
to me.
people sing the national anthem.
Yeah. Fergie, for example,
Just
like, what
sing
was-
it, please.
yeah, what was the point of that? And this is actually something that we talked about with like guitar players noodling and drummers doing the craziness, and every musician does this. But I feel like as a vocalist, I'm just speaking as a vocalist, a lot of people do this, and I often get that way too. And this is something that I had to learn a lot as we progressed as songwriters, because in the older music of Marina City, I wanted to make sure that I was able to show off my vocal range on every single thing. For example, Rise and Fall of You off of Chimera. Even When You Left Me off of Wanderlust, I felt like I had to do these big belts, and if I didn't, then I didn't sing on it. And one, I would literally kill my voice in every single show we ever did, and two, it just after a while everything still sounds the same, and it's about the music in itself that people connect to. It's not always that they connect with the big belts, only if it's appropriate. So with that said, I was writing Trust Fund Baby, and I get a lot of comps sometimes I can, like, a lot of my vocal delivery could be kind of Michael Jackson-y or kind of Patrick Stumpy, and I was trying to do that purposefully in it. And even though I still think it's awesome, I still listen to the demo today, and I was like, oh, I really like this version. Did it serve well to what we were doing? Probably not. So I had to go back
to that. I was listening to that first, or I don't even know if it's the first one, but it just said Trust Fund Baby Idea.
Yeah.
And I could tell a lot of the melody in the verse was very unsure and more towards of that, like, there was a lot of range in it, and there was a lot of like dynamic in terms of slowing up and speeding down and going high and going low in a short verse. But I really feel like where we hit the stride on the song was building the pre-chorus to the chorus. I feel like those melodies were pretty consistent from those demos back in the day. And what I remember when I was doing the vocal producing for this with Ryan is I envisioned, like, from that pre-chorus on, I had a solid idea how I wanted it personally to sound. Like, I pictured like a back and forth, tongue-in-cheek, like, chorus thing with like a, there's like a call and response type thing, and it's really playful to go along with the instrumental while singing about this heavy shit. But I was really stoked when getting to the pre-chorus and the chorus of the song, and I was like, oh man, it was really refreshing to hear that first verse melody all the way from 2018, because that could still be something down the line too.
It could potentially be something, because it's completely different, and you guys are heard it in this podcast. We'll be dropping all these different things, but I think sometimes you just got to serve the song. And we talk about this a lot in our writing in general. And it, like you said, it came out to what it is today to be a little bit more smoother.
Yeah, I think it's funny, like, the journey that this song has had to get here too, because this, like, like we said earlier, this song was 2018, end of 2018 when we first started writing it. So at this point, it's over 2 years old, and we probably brought it back once or twice into consideration. It was definitely in the running to maybe be on the crush, and then we shelved it. So then, like when Brandon, our manager, found it and was like, "This song's sick," like the first time around was like early 2020. He was like, "This song's sick," and we were like, "Yeah, it's cool, it's fine."
Yeah.
And then he brought it back again, like fall of 2020. And man, we had heard this song for 2 years and had been chipping away at it, and we were so burned out. We weren't even sure if it was good anymore.
Yeah.
I remember when he brought it back that last time, I know Ryan and I had a conversation where we were like, dude, I don't even know if the song is good. I don't. So I'm literally taking other people's words for it because I've heard this song so many times.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's good and what's bad anymore.
Well, that's a good thing about Mark, who produced this, Mark McCluskey from New York, is that he brought a good spin to it too. It was like, okay, this is what you can do. You can drive this, you can make it fun in this way. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. I see it now. I can see this again. It's refreshing to hear.
Yeah. Yeah, once we took like another serious crack at it, it really brought in some new life, and we were like, oh, actually this song is cool. We just lost that initial vision for a while.
Yeah. The like we mentioned earlier, that the hardest part was the synth line and what that synth line was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And we had so many different kind of versions of it. We had this really anthemic version where it's kind of like Killersy, we thought was going to go for it. That didn't really feel just right. We had a version that was like part of the chorus itself, and like, let's just keep doing this. But that felt like we were just repeating over and over and over again, and it just was getting annoying. There were so many different versions, but what's funny is that we ended up going with the first original version of the synth line that we got. And, and sometimes I feel like I never like doing that because I'm like, are we just settling? But in the end, you just got to do what like just feels right. Like it felt like a glove every time. We went right back to it. It's like, well, we couldn't think of something better, but it was cool that we kept thinking of different ideas.
Yeah. Yeah. It's important to like try those different avenues and see where it leads.
Right.
I agree.
I'm excited to see what this will be like live. We haven't even, just to give you guys some perspective, it's so funny. I don't know what episode we are in on these podcasts at this point, but we've been doing this the length of quarantine, and we have so many at this point. And I remember when we first started recording these, Eric would come to the house and was just like, this is our safe way that you can come to the house. And then eventually things got really crazy. And now we haven't even seen each other. I mean, I don't know when this podcast will totally come out, but by the time this podcast came out, we may have seen each other once or twice during 2021. And before that, I don't even know. So we had to record this. We never were in a room together to record this, and we haven't even rehearsed this together. So I'm really, really interested to see how this is going to come out.
We
did rehearse it.
We did rehearse
this song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. We did this at our last rehearsal in November?
Mm-hmm.
Did we have like the melody lines and everything for like the synth?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I had to learn it.
Yeah.
I don't even remember how it sounds.
But now we're gonna have to relearn it, so it'll be a whole new thing. But yeah,
I just want to make all these songs metal songs live. Let's just be a metal band.
Yeah,
that's basically what JT does.
I want to sound like the Ashton Irwin record live.
Sure.
Yeah,
that's what I decided.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Dude, Matt, every time you kind of just back up a little bit, you kind of disappear as a ghost. And I'm like, oh, this is
you were like a headless horseman for a second.
Yeah. As far as like this being the first single that we're coming out with on these 3 tracks, why do we pick this one?
Oh, we voted on it.
Honestly, if I'm going to be real with you, we had a different one. and then we had a different one last week, and then we had a different one the week before, and up until the week it gets released, we might have a different one.
Yeah, this may not even be the first one, but I do think that it was this song itself being one of the first ones releasing. I think it's a very Marina City song, which is so funny that we kind of like pushed it down when in the end it was like, oh, if people are like, what does Marina City sound like? I'd be like, I would show them this one, and I would show them a couple, like, you know, like maybe Addicted, Money, you know, I would show them another song, Up All Night.
This really
Runaways.
throws back to like, whoa. This really throws back to like old school
All the best.
Marina City lyric stuff.
I feel like the structure here is pretty reminiscent too, you know, like in terms of how it flows, like verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, quiet, chorus. Like,
that is some OG MC writing right there.
Yeah, but it works.
That's
it's really
funny.
nice.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Although actually, I will say this is probably the first song we've done where we started with the chorus.
Man in the
Mirror.
Oh yeah, I guess Man in the Mirror. But
backtrack.
I mean, technically, that probably wasn't our idea.
No. Oh, and this is a couple things I want to talk about. Was speaking of which, again, lyrics wise, I changed a lot of the lyrics again because, and I'm going to mention this a couple of times, but Jonathan Rosner told me he's the sync licensor with us. He's the guy that like puts our music into like commercials or into TV shows and stuff like that.
Teen Mom.
He was Teen Mom.
Geordie Shore.
Yeah, he was like, "Yo, dude, do you know that like you never rhyme in any of your songs?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And I had to go listen to all these songs again and rewrite all these things so that they can actually rhyme. I mean, again, I said I think that if it's catchy enough and it rhymes, and it doesn't rhyme, that's cool. But I wanted to make sure that it did. And then with "Don't Take This the Wrong Way," but I'm well, it used to go, "Don't take this the wrong way, but I'm leaving you now." That was the old version of it, and then we changed it into "I Can't Call You Mine Now." But that version, that melody line, I just wanted to use a songwriting trick. What is those intervals called? Do you know even what I'm talking about? Like, everyone, there's massive pop songs that use a little bit of those intervals back and forth, and it's like I forgot what they call it now. This is terrible for the podcast, but like it's like the 2000s like earworm thing. And I was just trying to see if I can fit that into a song, and we did it. So there's a lot of things that use that there.
Party in the USA, Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
Play my song.
Yeah. The Owl City and what's her name? Carly Rae Jepsen. Yeah, that's Love Is Like Whoa.
Yeah.
Carly Rae. That's not even the song.
No.
I forgot how it goes now. There's a Katy Perry version too, and I realized.
Oh, it's always a good time. That's the Carly Rae Jepsen.
Yeah.
And I don't think Owl City's a thing ananymore. I think he got canceled. No.
Oh, did he? I don't know, man. I have to look at my list.
Pedidlin.
I didn't see him. Yeah, I just wanted to use it. It's a songwriting thing that I learned on what is that other podcast? Pop.
Oh no, I can't remember.
Jeez,
what
guys,
it's called.
what's going on? You guys,
this is a bad podcast. We did not get our stuff together. It's something about pop and about songwriters and stuff like that they use.
Hooked on Pop.
Hooked on pop, pushed on pop. Is it Hooked on Pop?
I think it's Hooked on Pop.
But I feel like for me, when I was going through and helping with like the lyrics,
Switched on Pop. I feel like a lot of it was making sure that the rhythmic values were as close to even as possible between like the first like chunk of the verse and the second chunk of the verse, because I feel like there's a lot of I mean, it's not trimming the fat, but it's just like trying to make your idea as concise as possible. You know what I mean? Because sometimes there's a little bit of like this line has 7 syllables, this one has 4. How can we get the same thing to get into 4 syllables? You know, I found that to be
I actually really like doing that for Trust Fund Baby, and I felt like I definitely had a lot of fun, especially because I could be a little bit more tongue in cheek as a songwriter and lyricist. I'm not really one. Like, I don't really do that a lot. I used to write a lot of poetry, and I just thought it sucked because it was like, I'm in the dark. In the dark.
Repeat itself in the dark,
in the dark. And then so like that was a whole other thing. But when I'm editing other people's skill sets, I feel like, oh yeah, this is super fun. Like, I don't have to be like real serious, or I don't have to be anything. I just have to make sure it fits and it makes sense in like a sentence, which is cool.
Yeah.
Maybe I should do lyrics too now.
Yeah, dude. I would say go for it. I just say, yeah, man. Like,
Matt, go for it. You know what? I'm going for it.
Yeah, bro. Just go for it. Like, there's no right or wrong answer. I'm just trying to have fun this year.
I write poems too. Just nobody hears them.
Yeah, the last couple poems I've written might get me admitted somewhere, so I gotta.
Like in the Hall of Fame or like in a psych ward?
More like on ridiculousness.
Oh,
okay.
TV. Yeah. Rob Deerdeck's gonna give me a good intro. He's gonna be like, "All right, y'all ever meet somebody who just sucks?" Yeah. This category is for all those people who are sucking. We call it suck face. Like, and that was my favorite part about writing Trust Fund Baby. It was,
but everybody that is watching and listening, you guys have to go to our Superphone. Text us at 815-406-6209. Text us ideas of new podcasts. Text us ideas of what you guys heard about, what you guys think about the song. Text us whatever you want. It's actually us texting you, 815-406-6209. And if you don't like texting, you want to get emails from us, email thecrush@marinacityband.com, thecrush@marinacityband.com, and we will be sending you our monthly newsletter on cool things that we're doing and stuff like that. So you want to stay up to date because we got big things coming up. So we promise you. So anyways, we'll check that out. Otherwise, go hit us up on the socials. You know what to do. For everybody here, for Diano, Eric, Toter, I am Ryan, and this is the Crush Podcast. Adios, everybody. See you later.
At Marina City Band on all socials.
Ciao, ciao.